Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Awaken to Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. If you're new to me, shefaliburns, new to my show, Awaken to Happiness Now. If you're watching live here with us, welcome, welcome. If you're watching on the replay and the recording on YouTube, welcome, welcome. Please do subscribe so you can take advantage of all the current shows, all the previous shows, all the shows coming up. And it is my deepest wish, desire, and intention to bring to you these amazing, wonderful speakers who are sharing their wisdom, their teachings, their experiences, their processes, their readings, etc., so that we can all thrive, so that we can all awaken to happiness now. And so today, my dear friend Angie LaRue is back with us, and we're going to be talking about optimizing you. And so some of what we're going to talk about are some of the differences between the types of readings that Angie offers, and how are the different types of psychic readings useful, and what are Codeums and how do they work? So we're going to talk about that, and how does the knowledge from the readings come together with the Codeum energies, and what benefits come from receiving new energy blueprints or a renewal of blueprints that we already have. And we're going to talk about all of that, and we're going to talk about how if people actually get one-on-one time with Angie on the phone or on Zoom or in person during the readings. We're going to talk about that. So this call is totally slightly different than what we normally do, but I'm so excited about all these readings that we're going to talk about today that Angie offers, plus the Codeum transmissions as well. So for those of you who may not know Angie, like I said, she's been with us before. She's back with us again today. And she is a psychic reader and intuitive. She is a mystic and specializes as a translator, sharing advice, suggestions, and support from your higher self and angels, guides, and benevolent beings, so you can see potential outcomes to choices, make informed decisions, and get clarity on the next beneficial steps in your unfolding of your goals and life purpose. Angie is an ordained reverend, and everything shared is held in the strictest of confidence. She does multiple types of readings depending on what her clients prefer or the specific type of information they are seeking. Additionally, she uses her skills to find lost items, people, and pets as needed. She has done thousands of readings since 2011, including numerous large holistic fairs. So we're going to have fun with that today for sure. So everyone, please join me in welcoming Angie back to the show. Angie, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's so nice to see everybody. It's a beautiful day to just share this space from a place of our hearts with one another, and I'm really delighted and honored to be here. And thank you, Shophelia.
Thank you. And of course, we are going to be taking live caller questions. I don't know how many, so we will see with the mini readings that we're going to do. But so if you would like to work with Angie, you can raise your hand. I think that's best for these types of readings, if you want to raise your hand to work with her. I don't know how many we're going to do, but we will try and do as many as we can, right? So so Angie, we've all been going through a lot of transformation, a lot of changes. There's been a lot of upheaval in a lot of our lives. And at the same time, there is also an energy of new beginnings, new opportunities, just new energy of like blossoming, right? How do you feel about that?
Well, one thing that I've really noticed, and even going back and looking at some of my own past lives and other people's past lives, is change is part of being on planet Earth for all species, right? And the rate or the slowness of that change depends on a lot of things, from what's happening in the solar system and the universe, down to what's happening in our town, village, family, and with our own hormones and chemicals and diet even, right? So there's so many things that really is, impacting that change. Now, change is difficult for us in a lot of cases, right? It challenges us. And yet the flip side of that coin is that's what evolution comes out of, friction, right? So we pull out our best when we're facing adversity. When we are in a case of struggle, that's actually where we really kind of step up to the plate. And this is the engine behind the evolution, not just biologically, but the evolution of consciousness as well. So none of us particularly greet change all that well. And yet it's the thing that brings out the best in us. And so there's this great irony in all of that.
Yeah, so absolutely there's a change, I'm used to change for sure. That doesn't mean it's always comfortable or easy, but there's always a blessing and a gift and a learning and a teaching and wisdom that we get from all of our different experiences that we have, right? For sure, absolutely. And growth. So much growth, right?
I think evolution requires friction.
Yeah, absolutely. So our topic today was about optimizing you, right? So what does that mean to you, optimizing you?
So we're made up of so many different aspects, right? From the body, physical, to our emotional, psychological, mental, to our, spiritual connection with the divine. And so optimizing is really going to take place across a lot of different bands or spectrums of what we are, right? And so that optimization sometimes is going to be potentially focused in one area stronger than another, right? Like maybe some area of us is kind of lagging. And so, that's kind of what my focus is on. Where does a person most need help, right? Where do they need those extra blueprints or frequencies or energy that's going to help them bring that particular area up to balance more with the rest, and so that the evolution is smoother without parts lagging behind as much.
Absolutely. And so for me too, optimizing you or optimization of you is on all levels and layers and different aspects and facets of your life and your experiences. So sometimes it might just be, like you said, one area that needs a little bit more support. But, even when you're focusing on one area, the other parts of you are also being assisted and supported as well when you're focused on, because you're focusing on you, right? So I feel like when you're focusing on you and working on I don't know the word betterment of you, but that's what they're giving me, the betterment of you, it's going to affect as a ripple effect all areas of you, all aspects of you.
Yeah. And when we're really struggling in one area, it creates a strain on the system, right? And so then the other parts, which even though they may be thriving, are not really at their full potential unless we're fully suppressing something. And then we have a different effect from that. But we also don't want to be in that place either, where we're not able to face things.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to people working with you in different types of readings, how do you know which type of reading is beneficial for someone? It's like, because like we're all different, right? Like even like just for example, yesterday on our show yesterday, people asked all sorts of different types of questions, and there was different types of possibilities or of healing and support available, right? So how do you tune into the person to pinpoint which type of reading is beneficial for them?
Well, a lot of cases, just, in the opening questions, will give me a very good idea of what type of reading, or it can be client driven too, where they specifically want a specific type of reading, like they specifically want a rune reading. But it just depends, are we going to go back and look at past lives? Are we looking at soul purpose? Are we looking at, the career field that you want, to begin next month? There's certain readings which are going to drill to the information that we want more effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes people are like, I have no idea. I don't know what I want, but I know something has to change.
Yep. And so a lot of times just that kind of opening share of why I wanted to see you, and these, this is my question, or maybe they don't even have the questions. They just have an experience, right? And that right there is going to give me a very good idea what direction that we need to head in terms of a reading.
But I'm going to say really quickly for everybody here, when it's your turn to ask your question, I don't want a general reading. I want you to ask a specific question, because you've already raised your hand, some of you, so you know what it is that you want. And if
Yeah.
you don't, well, figure it out before we get to you.
Yeah, you need to know. And I think probably we'll just do one question per person.
Yep.
Um, and for these, I'm going to do an intuitive reading just in the interest of time.
Absolutely. Yeah. And on the show today, we're not going to go into the soul. I mean, so let's talk about the different types of reading. I was just going to say the rose reading, the soul path purpose. I didn't even know. So can you talk a little bit about the difference and the different types of readings that you offer?
Mhm. So in the particular package today, the first one, package A, I'm offering a card reading, an oracle or angel card reading, or a rune reading. So I think most people are probably familiar with that. And it's really great for answering now time questions, right? It's just really straightforward. The angels and guides, higher selves are really able to address things through those types of readings. Now, a rune reading, which comes from the ancient Norse tradition and is also kind of a language that almost can be written in, is a little different than like an angel reading or card reading. I don't particularly do tarot for the most part. Well, that's not true, but um, it's a little bit more hard hitting. So kind of the energy of that pantheon, right? You know, you have Odin and Thor and the Valkyries, and at that time in history was the development of the Vikings. And the runes can almost be predictive, like the angel readings are kind of soft and very, gently, everything's wrapped in cotton candy, maybe even to the point, so much so that you can't find the change agent. You can't find quite the thing you need to do because they can be so flattering. They're very supportive. And the rune readings will not talk to you like you're an adolescent. It's kind of the hammer of Thor, and he puts the hammer down. And so if you do choose a rune reading and you get advice from it, I heavily recommend following it. And to this day, every time I have gotten advice from the runes and not followed it, it has resulted in something. Like I was told to change an airplane flight, and it just didn't work. I prepaid and I was going to lose my money, and I didn't want to change the airplane flight, so I didn't. And we hit a whole lot of air pockets, and my computer got destroyed, and some of the luggage was damaged as well. So, so yeah, so if you do choose a rune reading, just go in kind of a surrendered state of being willing to apply what you're told, and then it actually goes really brilliantly. So there's a different energy there, right? Different energy even between those two. Now in the second package, you get one of those plus I think is it rose reading?
Soul path.
Oh, the soul path one. So
Mhm.
the soul path one is very interesting. This was taught to me by my higher self, and it begins with 3 rings of cards, and the beginning is showing what core traits and abilities that you came into this life with, right? Like kind of almost like a game of cards, and you start off with these cards, right? And then you're trying to draw other cards to go with or support or something like this. So these are like the core abilities. So maybe you came in a person who's just naturally very compassionate towards others, and you don't need hardcore lessons to learn how to be compassionate, right? You came in with it because you earned it in another lifetime. You've already done the classrooms to get that training, right? So that kind of gives you a very small core perspective of the abilities that you already came into in this lifetime. And the second ring out is things in progress right now that you are working on right now. And to some extent, maybe have already finished, like they may be wrapping up. These are lessons and classes in life that you've taken. And you're well along in the progress on those. And the outer ring is things that you've just started or haven't started yet. So it's kind of the soul path of your course syllabus, or that you came down here to study this lifetime, to learn from, or to learn with, or to grow. Yeah. And that really can answer a huge amount of questions. When I did that on my parents, both just trying to understand what in the world had gone on with them, and I saw what they had planned to learn this lifetime, I jumped straight from, hurt to complete compassion and understanding. I transcended forgiveness. I didn't even need to forgive, because the first time I saw the picture of what they had chosen, and within that, it explains so much. And so it's a brilliant kind of reading that gives you a very big picture overview from the spiritual planes of what in the world you're doing down here.
That'd be so informative. I think that'd be so helpful. And then the last one is the rose reading.
Yeah. The rose reading is a bit of an overview as well. It doesn't focus as much on the spiritual as it does on the personality. And so so the rose reading is a mental scaffolding for the reader. So the bloom has a lot of information, from the color, the texture of the leaves, the thickness of the petals, how many petals there are, what the inside of the flower looks like. There's a tremendous vast amount of information that gives a very large overview of the kind of the human you've bloomed yourself into at this point. And then the brachioles, which are kind of these proto leaves that are immediately under the rose. Originally, when it was a rose bud, they were the green that covered the petals.
Yep.
These are the communication space, and it talks about, it's giving us information about how you present in the world, how you use the skill of the voice. And it also lets us know a little bit about how many people you feel that you can honestly, openly trust and not have to monitor what you say or hold back, right? And quality of communication, and it's amazing how much it gives us information about how you voice your truth out into the world, how you present vocally. And the stem is an overview of how many times you've reincarnated on the earth, and it's not a specific number. It's more like been here a long time, going to be here a while longer, new to the planet, or fairly new kind of thing. The leaves of the rose tell us about baby soul agreements. These tend to be children, but not always. I remember we did a rose reading on Woodrow Wilson, who was a US president, and he didn't have a couple leaves. He had an entire hedge around the rose. And it was a blind reading, so we didn't know who the reading was on. And then when it was unveiled who the target had been, and it was Woodrow Wilson, we suddenly understood that the leaves were the nation. Right.
Yeah.
So there, and we'll see that on teachers as well. Sometimes we'll see a lot of leaves. And then we look at the aura around the rose. And we also do 2 past life readings. We pull a couple slices out of the stem that are lighting up for us. And these are specifically past lives, which are connected directly to this life, where a learning is continuing, a class that's continuing, that we're doing the 202 with the 303, and have been studying this for a few lifetimes. So it's very specific to this lifetime, not, just a random past life. And then we look at the layers, the auric layers around the rose, which lets us know, where you're spending your energy, which chakras you're engaging the most in life, which also lets us know for the final part, which is next steps in life, ways that you can reshift the output of your internal energy through other ports, other chakras, to get a different result. So the rose reading is a beautiful deep dive into who you are now and how you're using your resources. And this overview gives a really good idea for where to head next. to really
Wow.
optimize yourself.
Impressive. There's so much information that's available there that it's like, as you were speaking, I was thinking about myself, obviously, right? And it's like, oh, that would be interesting information to know. But at the same time, I like information to know, but at the same time, can these readings also help you with questions that you may have? Like, do you
Oh,
also do questions as well?
yeah. Yeah. And package A can be used a lot for that. The other ones have a very direct format, and so there's not as much time. But package A is really kind of for that. You can just line up your questions and get the answers. Absolutely.
Awesome.
So, but if you want to, like a soul path reading, like you really want to understand how long have I been working on this thing and what other things have I tried? Um, but then you also have questions, and you would want to get both packages, and then you get both things. You get to ask, you get the overview you're looking for, the understanding you're looking for, and then you're also getting some specific questions answered, which may be completely random questions, right?
Awesome. Thank you. So it's like it's so exciting because it's like there's so much information that's available, and I feel like it can help you to understand more about yourself, your path, your journey, and at the same time, so much more than you probably even thought of, right? And considered. So I'm fascinated by that. So just so you know.
Yeah, and these divination forms have been, developed by, different cultures over the course of time. And they can be surprisingly useful, right?
Mhm.
Because you have a structure in which you're looking for information. It's not as random. It's a lot more specific, and you dive deeper within that scaffolding of the divination form. And so that's why different forms are going to get you different information, as they're structured to reach that information in a specific way.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Thank you. And so let's talk a little bit about Codeums, right? And what are they and how do they work, and how do they support these readings as well?
Mhm. So Codeums are fascinating in my journey as a mystic. I've run across some things that are effective. And I've run across a lot of things that you have to bring a lot of intention and a lot of personal power to make it work, whatever the thing is. And Codeums are different. They just work. They just work. And they work even if you don't believe in them, which is remarkable to me, right? Because belief and intention is so very important with almost everything that we're talking about in the spiritual realms. Um, so Codeums come to us from 12th dimensional Palladians. And apparently there are Palladians that are, 6th, 7th, and 8th dimensional too. So the entire race has evolved at, is widespread galactically and has evolved at different paces. And so these are 12th dimensional Palladians that, for whatever reason, decided to start working with me and then our group and the school, the Inner Passage Mystery School. And they are mathematical formulas. So a codum is going to look something like 971-632, right? So it's just a mathematical formula. It doesn't particularly make any sense. But what it does is it arranges. So we're all kind of in our auric field, and our auric field is this like quantum fractal energy net around us. And what a codum does is it makes a specific change in that energetic network around us. And it only does the one thing that it says it's going to do. So, for example, prevent self-sabotage. That's all it does. It won't fix your big toe, right? It only prevents self-sabotage. And like any energetic construct, it's only good for a period of time, usually 7 to 9 days. And that's true of Reiki healings. It's true of almost any energetic that there is. But it gives you a time period in which you can experience the relief of whatever it is you were, let's say self-sabotage, where you can start building a new blueprint. It takes the pressure off of you in that area. So you get the relief of, wow, I'm not only not self-sabotaging right now, but I'm much more optimistic and having a much more hopeful outlook about things. I want to move on that. You know what? I'm going to go take that dance class. I've always been wanting to dance, right? And then you're literally moving into a new frequency zone, right? Because dancing, you know, and interacting with people and learning and moving the body is a much different frequency than whatever it was you were doing before, which was making that opening for the frequency of, in this example, we use self-sabotage, right? So it changes the energy for a brief period, 7 to 9 days, in which you have the opportunity to move into a new frequency set, thus a new experience. All right. So they're kind of a fractal light code. And we have a lot of them. We have well over 100 of them at this point. So there's a lot we can do. And they cover body, mind, and spirit. So we have a lot of them for health. We have a lot of them for personal and spiritual development. They're really pretty amazing. And we have some that create areas of effect too. And so we have in the Inner Passage Mystery School, we have, we could call it a prayer group. We meet every Thursday morning, and for 20 minutes, we do Codeums for the world. And so specific areas of the world, we're raining down Codeums to help people to be able to stay in their own power and their own sovereignty and find their best path forward. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're just putting it out in the air, and people can take it in if they want or not, you know, because we don't override free will. We just provide options.
Yeah, absolutely. And so can you talk a little bit about some of the benefits that come from receiving these new energy blueprints or a renewal of blueprints we already have? And can you talk about that a little bit? What does that mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let's say, let me come up with a metaphor or a scenario really quick. All right, let me think. Oh, I don't have it. Okay. Let's say you are working in personal development on becoming more optimistic and manifesting the outcomes that you want more than the outcomes that you don't want. And so you're kind of rewiring your brain because you're looking for a different outcome, right? And, you know, so the reading is, you know, going to give you some realistic areas that you can move into, you know, based on your strengths, right? And then the Codeum energies are going to give you the actual energetics to do that, right? So your mind gets fed with ideas of how, you know, it can help itself. And then you get the actual energetics as well, right? So you're getting kind of a, you know, a double support, and they're gonna, you know, probably come together. And I think in the package it's listed what each one, so each reading actually comes with a Codeum transmission that's yours to keep, and you can play it again and again. And since the energies wear off in 7 to 9 days, it's nice to get another boost of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And so again, when people are getting these readings with you, they're going to be personal one-on-one on Zoom or on the phone or even in Colorado.
Yeah, if you're in Colorado, you are so welcome to come here to the Crystal Sanctum and sit in these lovely energies for your reading. And if not, Zoom. And if you're not, if Zoom isn't working for you that day or whatever, we can do the phone as well.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. So
And
let's
I will ask
go
people,
ahead. Sorry.
You know, record it on their phone or take notes or something like that. I have a professional Zoom, but the capacity for storage is really, really low. And so I won't be able to record sessions for people. So please come prepared if you'd like to record it to be able to do so.
Awesome, thank you. So yeah, so everybody knows now. If you're gonna do the Zoom or anything else, just record it yourself, right? Because sometimes when you are in a reading, I know for myself, it is so hard for me to be in the reading and focusing and taking notes. I can't do it. I can do one or the other. I can't I can't do both. That's why, so it's for me, I always have to have it recorded. I never go back and listen to the recording, mind you, but it's, you know, it's always good to have just in case, right? For myself anyways.
Well, I try to keep people from not going into psychic space with me because it does change the energy. And so if you're keeping both feet flat on the floor and you're taking notes, you're probably not dropping into psychic space. You're not changing the energy. And then, you know, you are able to focus more on taking notes. And you can also ask me to slow down. And there's usually enough pauses because I'm looking at information and translating it, that there's plenty of time to.
Yeah, awesome. Good, thank you. All right, so do you want to take some, do some mini readings, take some live caller questions, see what's up with people?
Sure.
So again, like we said at the beginning, one question per person and something specific. So not what do you see in my field or what do I need to know? No, something specific, please, if you can, okay? And just one question.
And
Right?
remember, with your question, you are live on air being recorded.
Yes, you are. And it'll be on YouTube
Yeah.
as well. All right, so okay. Annette, you want to unmute? So I know that some people may not have cameras, but do you need to see their face or can you just listen to their voice? Is that okay?
Yeah, actually, I've trained myself that if you'll say your full complete name 3 times slowly, I can connect with the energy, and you don't need to go on camera if you don't want to.
Okay, awesome. All right, Annette. You just have to unmute. There you go. You're good.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello,
Hi.
dear.
Oh,
So just say your name 3 times, your full name 3 times.
Yeah, full name
Annette.
3 times.
My name is Annette.
Okay.
Annette.
Do you have, if you could say your full name, that would be more helpful. It gives me more of a energetic GPS number.
Annette Claire Scott.
I didn't get that at all. Sorry, I missed it completely.
I will say it again.
Yeah, 3 times, please.
Oh, Annette Claire Scott. Annette Claire Scott. Annette Claire Scott.
Awesome, wonderful.
All right, dear. What is your question?
I know I am a divine energetic being in 3D, but I feel resistance to allowing that to move forward and be even better than I am. It's kind of scary.
Okay, so that's a statement. Do you have a question?
How do I release resistance to change?
All right. So I'm seeing you as a little girl right now, and you have a beautiful yellow dress on, and it's summertime, and you're out on the sidewalk. There's a fence with a bunch of flowers growing up against the fence, and you picked a flower. You have a flower in your hand, and you're singing and you're kind of spinning and whirling. You're like 5 or 6 years old, maybe. And there's just this floaty, effervescent freedom about you. And what I'm picking up now is the knocks of life, the hard times of life have kind of calcified you, made you hard so that you could protect yourself from those events. You shielded up against the world, understandably, right? Life does that to us. And it was kind of to protect that little inner girl. But to accomplish what you want, to experience being that eternal spirit, that piece of the prime source creator, you need to allow that little girl out again who feels carefree and is dancing with the flower. You need to let down the guards, the armor, and start trusting the flow of life and goodness again.
That feels so light.
Yeah, you already have it in you. You already know it. And it's just finding that again. So maybe picking up some of the activities, coloring and singing to yourself and things that you would have done around that age will help that beautiful, untouched being bloom out again, which will put you back in touch with your eternal, effervescent nature. And that feels complete.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you, Annette. Thank you.
Thank you, Shefali. Thank you.
All right,
Ready?
we're gonna go to Sarah. Sarah, you want to unmute? So now,
Hello.
Annette was our guinea pig, so now we know how it's gonna go.
Okay. What field of study or area of focus would be most beneficial for me to move forward with my healing work and create success and income?
Okay.
And
so
your name 3 times.
I'm going to have you, because I need to get the signal first and then the question.
Okay,
Now I have the question and it's just going out in the ether.
sorry. No, okay, happy to do it again.
Okay.
But my birth name was Sue Evelyn Schendelman. My Hebrew name is Chava Sarah Bat Yosef Haleviva Esther. My English name I go by now is Sarah Schendelman, Sarah Schendelman, Sarah Schendelman.
Okay. And now your question, Sarah?
What area of study or focus do I need to put my attention to be most successful in my healing work and to make a living from it?
Okay. The first thing that, it just came with a lot of chills too. The first thing that, okay, I'm sorry. The chills are working through my body now.
Great.
All right. So I am seeing you in a homespun robe in a building made out of like stone and clay with a wooden table and a lot of shelves and a lot of herbs and tinctures. This is a lifetime in which you were an herbalist, some type of alchemist. Plant magic was your magic. And you, if this was something you decided to pick up as part of your healing modality or to assist your healing modality, you have a real leg up on this because you have an instinct for it. You have a knowledge from one or more lifetimes already on how to use plants to heal. And I'm seeing some powders as well.
Really, that's just nothing that I am doing. I'm doing a whole lot of different things, but that doesn't enter in except for my hugging trees and loving being in nature. That would be a big, big departure.
So can you communicate with trees? Do you feel like they communicate with you sometimes?
I feel the energy and I feel a lot of love, but I don't get anything specific, though I do pause and listen for it, but that doesn't come through.
So next time, you do you have like a garden or a backyard, something?
Yeah, and I planted 2 baby redwood trees there.
Okay. So maybe next time you have, well, let me ask you another question. Do you live more in nature or do you live in the city?
I live in Berkeley, but 10 to 15 minutes away are redwood forest and deciduous forest. And yesterday I was sitting by a stream among redwoods up on the Berkeley campus. So I get myself out to nature a lot.
Okay. So next time you have like a stomach complaint or a headache or just not feeling right in your body, go out in nature and just tell nature, tell the mountainside, this is how I'm feeling. This doesn't feel good. Is there anybody who can help me?
Uh-huh.
Watch for that draw or that light up or that knowledge that someone has answered, a plant or tree or bush has answered, and then navigate to that and then connect directly with that bush, plant, or tree and ask it, how do I use you? How and what part of you do I use to help, whatever, my upset stomach? And just begin that dialogue. It's easy to be had if you already have the connection with nature. And that's originally how you learned, was directly talking with the plants and the trees and stuff.
Interesting. Right now I'm doing sound healing more and looking to do it for others. Okay.
Maybe that's the question you should have asked. Is sound healing the whatever you were asking instead of making it so vague and general and open? But at least now you know what you did in a previous life. That was
Well,
very powerful for you.
I'm taking a course with Susan and she's teaching us Akashic records and channeling and so many different things. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
And thank you,
So-
Dick.
So it's interesting what kind of information will come through, right?
Mhm.
All right, we're gonna go to Anushka. So Anushka, make your question specific, please. So if you don't want a general answer that doesn't resonate with you, ask something specific.
Okay. My name is Anushka Driessens. Anushka Driessens. Anushka Driessens.
All right. And what is your question?
My question is about my job. It is all changing and I want to know in what direction, because right now I don't know. I'm a teacher and it's like in September there's nothing yet for me there as a teacher, so I'm wondering what will come. And I'm also an energy healer, and yes, I wonder if that will come in place or it will be the boat, or I really don't know. So that's my question.
Okay. And I just want to check the age range that you're teaching in right now to make sure I have the right person.
The age range is like from 5 years old till 12 years old.
Okay. All right. Good. I'm on the right thread. Yeah, I'm getting a predominance of between 6 and 8. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So what I'm getting is that you will continue teaching, but the jobs that become available are with a different age group. I'm getting more of the teens, preteens, like 11 to 15 is what's going to open up in the future for you. And then that it's up to you whether you want that or not, of course. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a change of age range that becomes available. And I also get that it's going to be more challenging, but I also get rewarding as well. Yeah, and there's one particular relationship with a boy that he remembers you well into his adulthood, and at some point that he comes forward and expresses his gratitude that you set the course of his life or altered the course of his life. Is something positive, and you're very remembered. So it's going to have challenges, but there's also a depth and a profundity that happens with that challenge that's not going to be so much with the younger ranges.
And the energy healing part, is that also present?
Well, I'm only focused on one question, so I would have to research to really to look at that.
So I thought my job would be 50-50, like 50% still in school and 50 in the energy work in my own business.
Yeah, and there might be a time period, a period of 3 or 4 months, where that's the case. It does look like the healing work, it seems to be a strong passion for you, and that there's always going to be, the taking of clients on the weekends or after work, or when you can, but it doesn't look like it's a living for you.
Okay.
Thank you, Nushka.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we're gonna go to Tina. Oops.
Hello,
Hi, Tina.
Tina Louise Cooper, Tina Louise Cooper, Tina Louise Cooper. I've been having these little black irritating things coming out of my skin and really driving me up the wall. And I know I'm extremely sensitive.
Tina, can you move your microphone a little bit, because it's not as clear as it could be, I think.
Turn it there, I'll turn it up. Does that help?
I
Is
don't
that
know.
helping
I can't tell. I didn't notice the difference, but go ahead.
Okay. I have these little black things coming up out of my skin, and they're really irritating. I know I'm extremely sensitive. If there's anything you can notice anything or anything.
And is it coming out like a little ball, or is it coming out more like a fine thread?
Fine thread.
Yeah. So that's what we call Morgellons disease.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and you can research that online. And it's a combination of microfibers. So what you would want to do is you want to go with cotton, linen, silk, 100% natural. You don't want any more microfibers, and you want to look at your bedding. You also want to go with a more natural detergent like borax, or I think it's called Clean People. You want to, there's also a soap seed that comes out of Malaysia, and it's just a seed and it suds up and you can use it as a soap. You also want to look at your food, and you want to try to get away from food that's packaged in plastic in any way, shape, or form, and even canned goods, which are lined in a type of plastic to prevent ptomaine poisoning, and that plastic leaches in. All your drinking glasses and jugs, you want to move into glass and away from plastic. You want to get the plastic out of your life completely. And
I'm about 80%, and every once in a while I have to get that plastic bottle, and I just like, oh my God, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this comes from, just we're poisoned with plastic. Obviously on heavy chemtrail days, don't go outside. And then, start looking into some of the protocols for removing plastic out of your body. Ion foot baths will help, certainly. But there's more. And
if you do a borax, like I put borax in my bath water and soak in that, it seems to help some. I've actually afterwards seen them come out and had to put magnesium oil in there and stuff too. and it seems to
Mhm.
help it come out. I thought that's what it was. I just sort of wanted to reaffirm because, they say you're crazy when you think it's that, but I mean,
Yeah, and you can take a bag full of those fibers down to the CDC and they will like send security guards after you to walk you off the property and you never
okay.
get through the
Well, we
bag.
could-
Yeah. The
Yeah.
private labs, though, are doing a lot of research on this, and you can go to the Codeum Institute. Okay, Codeum Institute online.
Uh-huh.
And they've been researching Morgellons for like 20 years, and they've discovered a lot. You're going to spend a lot of time researching in the Codeum Institute because it's not stuff they're really looking at right now because it's such old news to them. But you can dig in the archives and you'll find a huge amount of stuff about it. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
And Western medicine is whatever in
I
denial.
do notice if I put anything that's not 100% cotton or anything, I itch like crazy. And I used to think it was maybe the mold or something like that in it, but no, it's the other stuff. It like, and
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
You
Thank
know,
you
so
very much.
basically all these microfibers, which are, well, many of our t-shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies and sweatpants and lycra and spandex and all of that, that's just a plastic Coke bottle that they've, unspun into a very fine thread and made into clothes, right?
Right. Even my shoes, when I put shoes on it, like, oh my God, get these off my feet. I can't take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Okay.
become very hypersensitive to it because your body is super saturated. So, and that I don't know. The thing I keep seeing right now is microwaving and plastic Tupperware. I
Well, I'm getting microwaved I have 10 to 15 5G towers right across the street, so that's frying me, and I think that's activating it more too, because it seems to
yeah.
be more when I'm here.
Well, in the 80s, a lot of people were like, microwaving everything in plastic Tupperware dishes, and they
Yeah.
got massive amounts of the plastic inside of them, the plastic outgases all the time. Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
microwave. I mean, I'm not a microwave. I do all the things that you said. It's just the plastic pops in occasionally. Like right now, I'm drinking it. I get glass bottled water, but it's so expensive. But I do it because it's better for my health.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just keep detoxing and dropping your microplastic load, and it should clear up eventually, right?
Yeah.
So like when you're having an allergy, if you can remove the allergen, not just cover it up with, Claritin or whatever, but actually get away from the allergen, you stop having the allergies, so so just keep removing microplastics out of your life and really, really look at just detergents, cleaning products, stuff like that.
Yep. I do all natural. So thank you. I just keep on doing what I'm doing. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Tina.
Mhm.
All right, we're gonna go to Ina.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm Lorraine Ramey. Ina Lorraine Ramey. Ina Lorraine Ramey. I'd like to know what to focus on, put my energy into healing, walking again.
I'm sorry, that's not, I didn't get, like, what do you mean? So you want to be able to walk again, so you want to focus, but you want to know what type of energy
What
modality to focus
modality?
on?
Yes,
Yeah.
what modality?
Okay.
Okay.
Can I ask you a few questions about that, Ina?
Yes,
Okay. Right now, are your legs withering? Are they getting smaller around?
no,
Okay. How long have you not been able to walk?
I walk with two canes 4.5 years now, since surgery for an abdominal obstruction.
Okay. So you ended up on the canes due to a surgery?
It was a byproduct, a side effect of the surgery.
Yeah, not surprising. Okay. And do you have loss of sensation in your toes or feet?
No, I feel well.
Okay. Good. So you have good circulation and you're not losing muscle tone. And do you, when you're laying in bed, can you lift your legs and move them around and exercise them?
Now that I'm in acupuncture for 5 months, yes,
Okay, great.
great improvement.
Okay, good. So basically we have a physical situation which should be recoverable. And what you can do to add to that is visualization. So as you do your stretches, as you do the things to build up more muscle tone and the memory and the ankle strength and foot flexibility and all those things that are required for walking, see yourself walking again. And every time you're walking with the canes, see yourself walking without the cane. So basically, you're going to begin telling your body that this is an injury that we are already recovering from, right? So like when we have a broken arm, we know it's going to be like that for a little while, but then we're going to be using it again, and the strength and the muscles are going to come back and everything's going to be great. So talk to your legs like that, see that, and you're basically manifesting it into reality by repeated visualization. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a little bit of mind over matter. You're creating a reality that you want to exist. And it looks like you're doing a lot of good stuff already. And then I'm also seeing swimming. Do you have the ability to swim?
Not at the moment, but I'll keep it in mind.
Yeah, I'm seeing that swimming every other day will it gives you the support you need for your back and stuff, but it gives the muscles a, a non-impact way to build up and re-strengthen.
Awesome. I've been doing color visualizations in my legs as I do the limp and pulling things up and things, and sound healing. So I'm really impressed. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. And are you working with the color green?
Green. No, I've been using red.
So red is very grounding. That's excellent. That's good. We do need that. Green is healing, especially if you go with that bright, almost neon electric green, or the color, sometimes early spring grass is almost a neon. It's so bright.
Yeah.
That specific tone of green, if you will visualize it coming up out of earth into your legs, you will amplify and speed up your ability to get back to walking without canes.
Thank you. Thank you. I will do that. I do my feet on the grass in my garden. So I will imagine the color. Oh, thank you.
You're
Awesome.
so welcome.
Thank you. I know that's great. All right, we're going to go to Tanya. Tanya, you want to unmute?
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. So I'm Tatiana Caldwell. My question is, last year I developed something called histamine intolerance. So I have a reaction for food, and it doesn't have to affect my eyes, but it does affect my eyes. So I have this blurred vision often, almost every day, and I have to use eye drops. That's what they prescribed me. And I take antihistamine every day, which I had enough of it already. So what can I do to heal it? Please, thank you.
All right. Have you had the specific test done to discover exactly which foods you're allergic to?
No, they said that I don't need tests, just go through food elimination. But I know that everything that he
Take you 2 or 3 years with your food elimination process or more to figure it out. And just pay for it independently and get the test done, and usually they'll do it either through have you send in some of your hair that has the follicle
Yeah,
on,
yeah. I did it before, yeah.
okay, or the blood draws, and find out specifically which foods it is.
Mhm.
We're learning with all the poisons in food from the fertilizers and the Roundup and the pesticides and everything else that we a lot of people are using losing the broad range tolerance that they had for different
Mhm.
groups, and they're having to eat more to their bloodline. So for example, one of my students is Chinese, and she's breaking out in rashes and just having this huge reaction, which we think is food-based. And she lives in a capital city, international port city, right? So she's getting food from all over the world. So we had her do those tests, and it literally came back that she was allergic to all these foods that came out of Europe and the Middle East, right? Like genetically, she is Asian, and she has food
Mm.
intolerances to foods which, you know, didn't come from the Asian countries,
Mhm, mhm.
right? So like cabbage and broccoli and, you know, all these foods that just didn't exist in Asia. And so we're seeing a kind of more and more of that, where people are having to eat to either their blood type or their, what is it, genome, to their ancestors.
Microgenome or something, yeah.
Yeah, so like I learned from my heritage that I get vitamin D from fish more than I get it from the sunshine.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's because of all the, you know, Irish, Scottish, English, French lineage, right?
Mhm.
And
Interesting.
yep, so those people just you know, it's always cloudy, and so the bodies developed to be able to pull vitamin D from the fish, and they were countries that had a lot of access to the ocean. So sometimes just kind of sifting through that when you have a problem, you know, you can reverse it. Yeah, and I'm getting that would be a lot better route from you than continued antihistamines. They're just blocking it, they're just covering it up, and they're not solving the problem, they're just relieving the symptoms. And then there is side effects with extended use.
Okay, thank you so much, Angie.
You're welcome.
I thought about it. They just want to economize, so they didn't give me. They did a blood test, but they didn't give me blood test for food intolerance. And
Yeah, Western medicine is just so not helpful these days. Yeah.
So
thank you, Angie.
just get the test done, Tanya. Just get the test done for yourself.
Thank you, Lara. I will.
Yeah, thank
do
you.
so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna have 2 more questions, but really quickly before that, I just want to do a disclaimer. Of course, neither Angie or I are medical professionals, medical doctors. If you do have issues, physical issues, or any type of issues, please see your health practitioner, okay? As well. So Bridget, and then we have, where's Yamuna gone? Yeah, and Bridget and then Yamuna. So Bridget, you want to unmute? You did already, awesome.
Oh, hi. Bridget Welsh. I would like some guidance on how to unhook from my mother-in-law. She we're not close at all, but over the last year her health has been failing, and she seemingly only wants me to help her, and I don't want to do it, and I just keep getting hooked into it. And I seemingly have found her 3 or 4 times, kind of right before she was supposed to pass away, and then end up having to take her to the hospital. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, what is going on there? What can I do to pull myself out of this relationship?
Yeah, so I'm seeing that you're a giver and that you have kind of a habitual pattern of stepping up when asked. And, she's kind of desperate and scared and senses that in you, that that's all she has to do is ask you and you'll be there.
Yeah.
And so this is really about you being unavailable and just having boundaries, right? Like I assume she reaches you via the phone.
Yep. Phone, text, everything.
Right. Yeah. And so, you don't have to respond, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of recognizing that you're giving tactical permission for her to put herself on you, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You are allowing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could also, just return it to automatic response. I'm not available right now. I'll return your call or your text when I am, or just wait 3 or 4 days, and then act like that text didn't even happen and just inquire how she's doing or not. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
So,
seemingly like, if I don't respond or I don't help her, there's like this guilt because my husband will say, well, why didn't you help her? Why didn't you answer the phone?
right. And he could do that. It's his mother, right?
Yes.
It's not, you get to choose how
Okay.
much you want to be involved or not be involved. And so this is about sovereignty. This is about you standing up for you. And go for a long walk, have that talk. How much are you available? How much do you want to be available? And then you got to stick up for yourself. Okay.
Okay. So there's no like karmic thing going on here. This is just really about me and my boundaries.
Yeah, you can write any story you want. You can find every way to make you guilty that you would like.
Yeah.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's you and your boundaries.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
And that's actually nice because it's much easier solved, right?
Yes. Yes. Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, dear.
Awesome. Thank you, Bridget. And we all have, we all have boundary issues. I definitely do. It's a work in progress, but it's definitely there. Okay, Yamuna, are you there? You want to unmute?
Aloha. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, I feel like patience is a theme in my life.
First your
Sorry.
name 3 times.
Jamuna Blumet. Jamuna Blumet. Jamuna Blumet.
Okay, got it.
I feel like patience is a huge theme in my life. Should I be striving towards the goals that I feel like I'm supposed to be achieving? Or should I be at peace with the process, the natural process, and just not be pushing to do more with my time?
I'm getting that you really desire these goals and that it is your nature to push towards them. And I don't see anything wrong with that at all. Yeah.
Thank you.
You mentioned patience. Where does the patience tie in?
On my reliance with other people in my life.
Yeah. That's not, if you want the job done right, do it yourself, right?
Right.
Anything you want to accomplish, you need to be prepared to do it yourself. And so if whatever you're building or doing is dependent on other people, you are going to probably experience a lot of frustration. People are wiggly squiggly, have schedules, don't show up for themselves and others, and this is just life. So whatever you're building and doing, be prepared 100% to do it yourself. And when you do occasionally get help on it, revel in feeling that gratitude and appreciation.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, awesome.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, Yamuna. Yep, sometimes you have to rely on yourself. You know, it's nice to be able to rely on other people, but you know, not if it's going to affect your goals and achieving your goals. You know, you have to make yourself a priority, or you and your goals a priority, right? Thank you, Angie. That was great.
You're welcome.
That was fantastic. And it's again, it's so interesting what comes through, and your follow-up questions are so relevant to what the person has asked or what is coming up for them at the same time, right? Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. So I know that everyone got something that is helpful for them, something beneficial. May not always be the answer we want, right? But it is what sometimes we need to hear at the same time.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
For sure.
that's, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things I could say about that, but I
Yeah,
think at the end of the day, all of us really want to be able to move forward, even if we maybe don't want to move forward in the way that we want to move forward, you know.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to take a few minutes, Angie, and just, even though we talked about the readings a little bit, I just want to take a moment and go through the special offer packages, just so that people have clarity on the packages and what you are offering for all of us today. So you should be able to see the page now. So there's 3 packages, right? A, B, and C. We talked, you know, I guess pretty in detail about the readings and about the I don't know if we really talked about the Codeums per se, but in just really quickly, all of the packages, there is a payment plan available, and if you're an Inner Circle member, please use your gift code. So in package A, it's that intuitive card reading or that rune reading, which I think sounds really much more I don't know, powerful for me, because like sometimes I need the hard truth. Just give me the, you know, just tell me, right?
Really, it's not going
go
to
ahead.
come wrapped with you know, cotton candy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't need any more cotton candy, no fluff, just give me the straight truth kind of thing, right? And then the Palladian Codeum energy for a transmission video with optimizing the aura and biomorphic field Codeums. Like, did we talk about the Codeums in this, like in this
Oh,
detailed way?
We did talk about them, but what we didn't talk about was, I think it's listed. So there's going to be a number of Codeums in that transmission. And I think these are videos. And I did all the editing, and it's beautiful, and it comes with soundscapes. And these are voice activated. And so you're going to be encouraged after the Codeum energy is sent to say activate, enhance, amplify, expand. Because these are, it's almost like sound bowls or singing bowls. This is a sound-based delivery system. Yeah, and so each package is going to do some different things. And in this package, you're going to get Codeums, which will open all 7 of your chakras. You'll get one that's going to clear the energy system, activate the power chakras, direct healing to where it needs to be, clean the lymph system, and direct energy towards spiritual alignment. Now, it's like water flowing across the surface, and it's going to fill in the divots first. And so if you need the energy for healing because you're sick, you're not going to get your energy system cleaned and your power chakras activated and your lymph system cleaned or whatever. You're going to get, it's going to go straight to the healing energy, the healing need pocket
first. Yeah.
And
Makes
then
sense.
you know, but as you get well, then that energy will get diverted to whatever system needs it next. And then there's a series of Codeums that activate the male and female energy within us. This one feels really super amazing. If you get really off course, this just brings you back on. And then there's one that does 10 different things. They call it the everyday holiday Codeum, and you can kind of see it does a lot. And then there's one that balances you in any field and helps create new synaptic pathways. There's one that uplifts a biomorphic field to a higher frequency. There's one for energy running, and one for absorbing and integrating Pleiadian Codeum. So if you have never experienced them before, this will help the energy to land on you. It is I do these a lot in ceremony for large groups. I just did one 4 days ago for a group of 60 people, and people who had been to other events that I priestessed were like going, oh, that's so amazing for the Codeums. God, this is so good. It's every time it feels stronger and stronger. And then other people who was the very first time are like going, I'm not sure I felt anything, right? So there is a Codeum here that helps you to absorb and integrate the Pleiadian Codeums, particularly if you come from a different star seed lineage.
Awesome.
So yeah, a lot of good stuff right there just for keeping your system your energetic system optimized.
Awesome. So that was package A, and then package B includes everything in package A, right? And then they also get the soul path reading and then the Pleiadium Codeum energy transmission video for optimizing and enhancing yourself.
Right. So this one is looking at all kinds of psychological aspects. So there's one for self-confidence, trusting yourself and acting on your inner knowledge, one for preventing self-sabotage, one for having faith in your life, one for experiencing confidence as a human and feeling timeless and creating your reality for there. Jumana, that one might really help you with your projects that you're doing.
Thank you.
One for expressing your truth, integrity, and prosperity, caring and loving, loving others the way you love yourself. One for having compassion for self and others. One for alignment and synergy, fun, being in the flow, and one for experiencing inner joy. So this is really working with our psychology, which is going to support everything else in our life. So we got auric field and energy field, and now we've got one supporting our sense of person.
Awesome. Thank you. I don't know if you can hear the noise in the background, hopefully not. And then package C includes everything in package A, everything in package B, plus the rose reading and the Codeum for prosperity, abundance, and manifesting, right?
Yes. Yeah, so this one comes with Codeums for, and like I said, they're very specific. So this is for bringing in and being in the new flow of resetting old patterns and allowing new ones to be brought in, aligning with prosperity, aligning with your greatest potential, creating what you want and moving forward to share that as your foundation. And this is really good for people in career change or starting a new career or building something. This is an important package for that. Creating a new field that has your intentions, how you want to manifest it and what you want source to bring you. And you're going to set your intentions. So that's key with this package. When you're listening to these Codeums, set the intention, know what you're building and visualize that as you're doing the activations, okay? While in a meditative state, quiet mind state. And there's one for helping materialize and actualize your manifestation. And then there's one called Watch Me, Abundance and Flow. So getting it done.
Awesome. I love that. So again, all these three packages, obviously package C would be the one that you get everything in. So
yeah, and you can spread those readings out. So I'll just keep track of who gets package, B and C, and knowing that you have, 2 more readings with me or whatever. And you can take those, throughout the year. So you may want to save one for your birthday or, one for Christmas or, whatever. I don't recommend having all on the same day. So
awesome. Yeah, I totally agree. Wonderful. So again, these three packages, a payment plan is available for all three. If you're an Inner Circle member, please do use your gift code. And I would highly recommend getting package C because you get 3 readings plus 3 Codeum transmissions, as so definitely. And if you have, like if you can space them out, then it's a bonus. I love that. So thank you. This is really quite generous of you. So thank you so much.
And So normally, so that package C is $197. Normally a reading with me, an hour reading with me is $120. So it's just,
This is 3 readings plus the 3 video transmission Codeums. So yeah, it's a, yeah, but definitely, if you can, I would, and there's a payment plan available, so, you know, it's easier. So I would definitely do that, because those readings, you know, for myself, the rune reading is like so key. The soul path reading, just, you know, sometimes when you're in a funk and you're like, I don't know what to do, you know, nothing seems to be going exactly the way I want, what is going on, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and then the rose reading, it's like there's just so many facets to it. It's like,
yeah,
you know.
in the school. So I'm the founder of the Inner Passage Mystery School. And in the school, the students really like rose readings much better than any of the traditional card readings, just because it gives them more data in which to plan their next steps with in a real practical way. In fact, last night, one of my students was telling me, I'm going to go home and I've got to reread the rose reading that, you know, that another student had given them a year ago. Because a lot of the things that had been seen are already falling into place, and they wanted to, you know, refresh all of that and see, you know.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, really fascinating, because I have never heard of the rose reading or in that way at all, or the soul path reading in that way at all. Of course, I know about oracle card readings and rune readings, but you explain the rune reading, it's it's definitely my cup of tea. That's who I
Yeah,
am, for sure.
Hammer of Thor.
Sometimes I need that hammer. Yeah, for sure. So any other last words of wisdom for us today, Angie? Oh, a little bit about the Codeums too, if you can explain, like, because I know from previous shows you suggest listening to them 9 days in a row and then taking a break and then listening to them again, right?
No, I actually recommend listening to the energy fades off in about 9 days.
Okay.
And so I
Got it.
recommend listening to them about every 9 days. So
Okay, so I had it totally wrong.
you can do them more often if you'll drink more water, but this type of energy uses water to flow throughout our system. And so if you do too many energy modalities, you'll get hot spots in your body, or you'll get fatigue, and you'll not feel good the next day. So you can listen more often. You could listen like every 5 days, like every Saturday or whatever you know, if you'll drink enough water. And by enough water, I mean, you know, like a gallon of water the day before, the day of, and a day after. Like, really be well hydrated, and the body can handle, you know, having the energy infusions, or like a IV drip or something, that often with no problem. But you can end up not feeling very well if you do them too often and are not sufficiently hydrated.
Got it. Yeah. Oh, it's a good thing I asked. So yeah, anything else that you would like to share? So if someone were to purchase package C, for example, and there's the 3 readings, could they gift one of the readings to a family member or something like that?
I guess so. Yeah, I would just need to know in advance the name, because that's kind of a way that people could take advantage of that hearing on the air and seeing all your names, and they could say, you know, oh, Jean gave me one of her readings, right?
Right. Yeah. Got it.
So set that up with me, specifically give me the person's name and contact information that you're going to give one of your readings to.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it sounds perfect. I mean, I think I'm gonna get package C for sure, because I'm in that zone or mood for a reading. So, you know, I'm feeling it. I'm definitely feeling it.
And it's nice too, you know, with the different types of readings, where you can almost use one, you know, move forward, you know, isolate, you know, this is what I'm doing next. Do that, and then get another reading to kind of check back and see how that's changed the energy. And yeah, so I mean, you know, it's a great tool that you can use, you know, to help yourself throughout the year, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the
Thank you.
Codeum transmissions, you will download those and own those and have them for the rest of your life.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Thank
and
you.
I want you to know, so I found an alarm clock. So if you have a Samsung or an Android, on the Google Play Store, there's an alarm clock there that allows you to use music. You get to choose, you can download music to your phone to use as your alarm clock. And I have 3 different Codeum packs and 2 different crystal arrays. It's my alarm clock. So I drink
Oh, beautiful.
water every day. And in the morning, I wake up going, activate, enhance. And is it
I love that.
way to start the day? And yeah, it really is.
Perfect. So it's very simple. So even these Codeum transmissions are very simple to use. You just play them and then you say activate, enhance, etc.
Yeah.
When
And they're not that
when
long.
prompted.
Yeah, they're not that long. They're like, around 11 to 13, 14 minutes. So it doesn't take you very long at all.
Yeah, that's definitely doable. Awesome, thank you. No, this was fantastic. I loved it. I love your Codeums transmission video. They are awesome. You can definitely feel, because I know we didn't do one today because we were focusing on the readings, but you can definitely feel your energy shift when you work with these Codeums, for sure. Absolutely.
I was looking to see if Linda was with us. I'm not sure that she's still with us. She just received some Codeums this morning from me. And this was her second or third time. Maybe, oh, there's Linda. Oh, you're muted, dear. You're muted.
I just bought your package C and have no clue what to do with it.
I'll help you with that, dear. Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna download it.
Yeah, you basically just download the three
I can?
files, and then you're gonna contact Angie to book your
I
sessions.
don't know how to download.
Okay, we can work with that.
Okay,
Not
I
to
don't know
worry.
how to download, so.
Okay, we'll help you with
thank
yeah.
But how did you enjoy the Codeums this morning,
Yeah,
Linda?
would you like to talk, Linda, about the Codeums you received this morning?
I saw Angie pulling them in, and I felt in the core sort of a strange energy. And then she sent them to me, and she did them because I have been really stressed out, and I'm sitting here fairly calm. So that's why I picked package C. Angie helps me with my animals, and I so appreciate that. But the Codeums, I really didn't know what they were, so that's why I really wanted to be on here. But I need more discussion on the definition of Codeums, because I felt a surge of energy and whoa, I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's the second or third time that Linda's received them from me. So they're starting to get very powerful for her. And she's actually, her body is reacting to them even before I send them to her. So as I'm putting the recipes or the cocktails together, she's already experiencing the effect of it even before I actually send the energy to her. So we just love the Codeums. They're real. They're very real, and they have really real effect. And you don't even have to understand them or believe in them or anything else. And yeah, and I've heard really interesting stories about people who received them at ceremonies, and but they weren't open. Their heart wasn't open, and so the energies just stayed in their field. And then maybe they went and had a massage, or they went to the therapist, or they connected with somebody, and they had a heart opening experience. And as soon as they did, the Codeums rushed in, and they're like going, "Oh, wow. Oh, those Codeums from 4 months ago just landed." Yeah.
Oh wow. That's fascinating.
It is. It just amazes me that yeah, it's an extraterrestrial technology that's very heart-based, and it works, and the Palladians are close enough to us as a hominid that they are able to understand how our psychology and our energy systems work and make these Codeums for us, and they work well for us.
Yeah, yeah, they do work well. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Linda, for sharing. Yeah, they are quite powerful. And for me, because I am super sensitive to energy, I feel them right away. Right. So that's just how I am. But somebody else it may take a few times, but again, every 9 days. So it's not like you're going to be spending hours and hours on it. It's like 15 minutes max every 9 days. We all have 15 minutes, so we can do every 9 days. So enjoy, right? Wonderful. Thank you so much, Angie. Thank you, Linda. That was great. Fantastic. And we'll definitely help you to be able to download them. You won't be able to download them on the iPad, I don't think, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk to Angie about that. Because if she was able to, anyway, we'll see. We'll see how that works out. All right. So this has been fantastic. Again, like I thought this was wonderful. I love Codeums as well. The energy is so powerful. And it's just about being willing to receive. Like you don't have to believe in it or anything, like Angie just said, and just opening up your heart to receive. They're so powerful. And these readings are going to be, I think, transformational for people. So thank you for offering these. These are amazing. And thank you everybody for your questions, for being vulnerable, working with Angie in these mini readings. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you can, please do work with her more. And I will have the recordings out in a little while. Is there anything that we need to do with the codes?
Yeah, you'll be activating them, and it says it right on the recording. I say, please say after me, activate. Please say after me, enhance. Yeah. So there's just 4 words that you'll need to say, and you're prompted in the recording to do it. It's almost like call and response. It's very easy. It's no brainer. Even if you lose all the paperwork, the information is all in the video without being excessively wordy. Yeah,
exactly. It's very, very simple. Very simple. Just listen and then say the words and receive. Right. So thank you. All right, everyone. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great weekend. We will be back next week with some shows. So I hope to see you then. Until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all so much love and blessings. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.